At that very moment the silence was shattered by the roar of rocket engines. From the high blue sky a spaceship descended. Ed Wallace, the ship's pilot, turned out to be an elderly gray-haired man wearing a hat with drooping brims and a green overcoat. He introduced himself as a representative of the company Clear Fleet, which purified and disinfected water on various planets. Since we had no need of his services, he thanked me and decided to depart. But he didn't get far, the engines roared, then fell silent with alarming finality. Inspecting his ship, I discovered the Sphinx valve had burst. With the tools available, I couldn't make a new one in less than a month.
What bad luck. Looks like I'll have to stay here.
I think so too, I said.
I can't understand what caused it.
Perhaps the valve's strength weakened when you sawed it with a hacksaw, I said and walked away. I had noticed suspicious saw marks while examining the engine. Mr. Wallace pretended not to hear me. That evening I intercepted his report over the interstellar radio network. Amusingly, the agency he served was not Clear Fleet, but the Central Intelligence Administration. Mr. Wallace turned out to be an excellent gardener, though he spent most of his time sneaking around with a movie camera and notebook. His presence made young Roy carry out his duties more diligently. Mavis and I stopped wandering in the forest, and somehow we never found time to finish a certain unfinished conversation. Despite everything, our little colony prospered. After Mr. Wallace, other visitors arrived. A married couple from District Intelligence came, posing as traveling fruit collectors. They were followed by two photographer girls, secret agents of the Intelligence Information Bureau. After that came a young journalist who was actually an agent of the Idaho Council for Cosmic Morals. Whenever the moment for departure came, their Sphinx valves would always burst. I didn't know whether to feel proud or ashamed. Half a dozen agents were watching me, yet each was second-rate. After a few weeks on our planet they invariably became excellent farmers, and the once flooding rivers of their reports gradually shrank into tiny streams, until they dried up completely. At times bitter thoughts overcame me. I seemed to myself like some kind of laboratory animal, a testing ground for beginners who could practice here before serious work. The spies assigned to me were either too young, too old, absent-minded, incapable of anything else, or simply failures. I felt like a suspect watched by agents being eased into retirement on half salary, a kind of pension substitute. Still, it didn't trouble me much. I held a solid position, though I could hardly define it. In all my years on Earth, I had never been as happy as I was now. My spies turned out to be pleasant, friendly people. Nothing disturbed our peace and serenity. I thought it would last forever. But one fateful night extraordinary commotion swept our colony. All radio receivers were switched on, apparently some important message was being broadcast. I had to ask some spies to combine receivers and switch others off so as not to burn out the generators. Finally they shut everything down and held a conference. Their whispers were heard late into the night. The next morning everyone gathered in the common room. Their faces were long and gloomy. Mavis spoke for them all.
Something terrible has happened, but first I must reveal our secret. Bill, we are not who we pretended to be. All of us are secret government agents.
Impossible! I exclaimed, not wishing to hurt anyone's feelings.
It's true. We were all spying on you.
Impossible! I repeated. Even you, Mavis.
Even me.
And now it's all over.
Why? They exchanged glances.
Bill, the latest mapping of space discovered that this region does not belong to the United States.
Then what country does it belong to? I asked.
Please don't worry. During the International Division of Space, this sector was accidentally overlooked. Therefore no state can claim it. By the right of first settlement, this planet and the surrounding space for millions of miles belong to you, Bill.
I was stunned and couldn't say a word.
Because of this, our presence here has no legal basis. We must leave immediately.
But you can't take off. I cried. I haven't repaired your Sphinx valves yet.
Every secret agent has spare Sphinx valves.
I watched them walking toward their ships and thought about the loneliness awaiting me. I would have no government to keep me under surveillance. I would never again hear footsteps behind me at night and turn to see a spy's intent face. Never again would the buzzing of an old movie camera soothe my ears while I worked, or the. Yet most of all I pitied them, those poor, diligent, clumsy spies who now had to return to a world of frantic pace, brutal competition, and ruthless profit. Where else would they find such a suspect as me, or such a planet?
Goodbye, Bill.
I watched her walk toward Wallace's ship and suddenly realized she was no longer my spy. Mavis! I shouted and ran after her. She hurried toward the ship, but I caught her hand. Wait. Remember, I started to tell you something back in space. And later here on the planet. She tried to pull away, and in an ordinary voice I muttered, Mavis. I love you. Instantly she was in my arms. We kissed, and I told her that her home was here, on this planet of shady forests and yellow-green fields. Here, with me. She was speechless with happiness. Seeing that Mavis would not leave, young Roy reconsidered his decision as well. Mr. Wallace's vegetables were just beginning to ripen, and he felt obliged to stay and tend them. The others also found urgent matters keeping them on the planet. Thus I became what I remain to this day, ruler, king, dictator, president, or whatever I choose to call myself. Former spies now descend upon our planet in masses. They come not only from America but from practically every corner of Earth. To feed this crowd I will soon have to import food. But the rulers of other planets refuse to help me, they think I bribed their spies to defect. I swear I've done nothing of the kind. They simply arrive and stay. I cannot resign, because the planet is my property. And I don't have the heart to send them back. I've reached my limit. All my subjects are former government agents. One might think forming a government would be easy, but in fact I have found no support from them. I am the absolute ruler of a planet populated by farmers, herdsmen, and shepherds, so at least we won't starve. But that isn't the point. The point is that, damn it, I have no idea how to govern. Because not a single one of them wants to be a spy anymore, or inform on their friends.